In this episode of The Wine Travelers, we'll meet a family living a life many wine lovers can only dream about. Philip Holzberg grew up in Canada, but he spent most of his adult life in the wine business. In 2001, after a long search, he and his wife Sophie found the perfect place in the countryside of Bordeaux to raise their children, raise their grapes, and live a life dedicated to and surrounded by wine.
Mud in your eye. Motor in your eye. Well done.
Philip is passionate about what he believes should be wine's place in the world.
But let's not forget what the place of wine in the universe is, which is at the table, like right now, lunch.
We go now to the Chateau Franc Cardinal to enjoy the French way of life, the French way of wine, and find out exactly what is the Nardou Bar and Grill.
And I make wines for drinking, as you probably noticed.
Join us on the ultimate food and wine adventure, The Wine Travelers. We are at the Chateau Franc Cardinal in the very tiny town of Nardou, population 12, enjoying some rest and relaxation with Philip and Sophie Holzberg after 2 long months on the road.
Un petit pinot.
Nardou is located in the far eastern part of Bordeaux in the Côte du Franc appellation, not far from the very famous medieval city of Saint-Emilion. This area is littered with remnants of the Middle Ages, and within sight of the Holzbergs' estate is the imposing castle of Montbadon, which his kids call the Giant's Castle. Their home is a beautifully restored farmhouse with a small winery attached to the back. Benji and his sister Amélie are 2 very lucky bilingual kids living in a fairy tale land with a fairy tale castle outside their window.
Our appellation, which is called Bordeaux-Côte de France, which is the smallest appellation in Bordeaux, in 517, I believe, 507, Clovis, who was the first king of the Franks, fought a battle with Alaric, the Visigoth, and threw them out of Aquitaine, and left a garrison on the highest point in the area, which became the town of Franc, which means Franks, right? The Franks were one of the founding tribes, along with the Gauls of France, and then the word France comes from the Franks, etc. And that's why this area is called the Côte de France. Côte means hillside. So these are the hillsides of Franc. If you have trouble getting to sleep, you can read this, which is sort of the story of how I ended up coming from Willowdale, Ontario to Nardou, Taillac.
Oh, good.
The story of how Philip attained a chateau designation for this old farmhouse and became the first Earl of Cardinal is long and best told over a couple of bottles of bingo. You might want to teach him. Let's just say he's a very resourceful individual and does his homework.
Right time of year, to be honest, but like here.
More importantly, however, is the fact that since he purchased the estate in 2002, Philip has been tirelessly committed to improving the quality of the wine produced here. The Côte du Franc appellation is a very old wine-growing area, but it's not widely known.
People have been making wine here since Roman times, you know, so they figured out which spots are good for it and which spots are bad. And all that Appellation Contrôlée does is sort of codify that. And we are, if you will, between 3 appellations. Bergerac is not very far away. Côte de Castillon is just south of us. And then if you go north of us, it's Bordeaux, just plain Bordeaux, because it has nothing particularly special about it, whereas here we do. What is special about this place? Well, I can only sort of guess what the different influences are, but one of them is microclimate. We are, once again, the easternmost appellation of Bordeaux, and the highest as well.
Here on the east side of the Gironde, or the Right Bank, the clay and sand soils in the more continental climate are perfect for Merlot. To the Merlot, you may add Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Malbec, or Petit Verdot. Philip is unabashedly fond of the blending grape Cabernet Franc, however, which around here is called Boucher.
The most interesting grape variety here, but it's a very difficult one to work with, but it's fantastic when you get it right, is Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Franc locally is called Boucher, and I refer to it as Boucher generally because I think it's very important for people to understand that it has its own character, and it's not like I had always understood when I was learning about wine 30 years ago. People tend to denigrate it as the poor cousin or the Cinderella compared to the noble Cabernet Sauvignon. And even though they are genetically related, and in fact I think Cabernet Franc is the older cultivar, if you will, they are genetically related. They have absolutely nothing to do with each other in terms of the kind of soil and microclimate they need and the aromas and the flavors that they develop. Benj, did you count them, kids? Apéro time at the Nardou Bar and Grill.
Across the driveway from the house is the barrel cellar, and next to that is the Nardou Bar and Grill. Philip is pouring up some Pinot. Not Pinot Noir, but Pinot de Charente, or here, Pinot d'Aquitaine. We'll become addicted to this lovely fortified wine, which is not well known outside of France.
Mud in your eye. Motor in your eye.
When we return, the wine travelers will have lunch with the locals, so don't go away.